Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Anju Moses, our plenary speaker for this session, who serves as the Head of English Programs for Sri Lanka at the British Council. With over 15 years of experience in English language teaching, teacher training, and educational leadership, Ms. Anju has led numerous initiatives designed to enhance English proficiency and elevate teaching methodologies in diverse and often challenging contexts. Her work shows a seamless blend of academic expertise and practical application rooted in her advanced qualifications. She holds a Delta and a master's degree in applied linguistics and TESOL. Her contributions extend beyond Sri Lanka. She is an active member of the international English teaching community, having presented at prestigious forums like International Association of Teachers of English as a Foreign Language. Her presentations and leadership are marked by a commitment to innovation, inclusivity, and empowerment. Known for her ability to inspire and energize educators, Ms. Anju Moses has a proven track record of fostering excellence among teachers, enabling them to unlock the potential of their learners. Today, she brings her wealth of experience and insights to us, addressing artificial intelligence and English language teaching. On behalf of the Department of English and the RESC family, I cordially invite Ms. Anju Moses to share her insights and expertise with us in this plenary session. Over to you, Ms. Anju Moses.
Hi, everyone, and thank you very much for that lovely and very, very kind introduction. It's really great to be here, so thank you very much for the opportunity. I'll start off by sharing my presentation. Okay, so we have a very exciting theme for the entire conference, and I think I really enjoyed the sessions that was just before. This was fantastic, and we learned quite a lot from it, and as you can see from all the questions and the comments on the chat. So what I'd like to talk about is AI and English language teaching, but looking at it more from the perspective of how we can integrate technology for enhanced learning. And one of the key bits of research that we've been looking at is this report that we commissioned last year, and it was released last year, and it's available to the public, and I will share the link to this at the end of this session. Where we looked at current literature and gathering diverse perspectives on the subject of AI, because there's so much that has happened, especially over the last couple of years. And because AI keeps changing very rapidly, there's a second edition as well to this research report, which was published in 2024. So some of the key findings from that are what I'll show you just after my session objectives are these. So essentially, looking at the research findings, we can see that AI tools have been used most often for speaking, writing, and reading, but we can see that it hasn't been used as much practically for listening skills. So there is something for us as educators and educators and teachers to think about there. There's been a lot of work done using AI to support students with speaking. But then there is also the challenges with AI. We have technological malfunctions, limited capabilities, and there's a lot of nervousness around using AI. And also the training, because AI keeps changing so much, we also need to be updated ourselves. And we need to look at in future what this would mean in terms of assessment, because we all know as teachers how hard it is to see whether, students have actually done the work themselves, because that's one of the big challenges we have. So in this session, essentially, we'd look at what our understanding of the role of AI in English language teaching, and we'll look at some practical AI tools for classroom use, and look at some implementation strategies, and of course, some ethical considerations. And I think it's really great what we discussed in the last session, because a lot of that is really relevant to whatever we do in AI and teaching. So to start off, I thought we'll start with a little quiz. And I hope everyone has access to the chat. So if you could just type your answers in the chat, that will be really great. I hope you're ready. Okay. So the first question on the screen, I hope you can all see it, is what does AI stand for? And there are 4 options. Okay, great. We already have some answers coming in. We have some C's and B's. Okay, brilliant. We have a lot of C's coming in, and C is the correct answer. Well done. So artificial intelligence is what it stands for. Great job. Are you ready for question 2? I hope so. Okay. Which of the following is an example of AI in everyday life? Yeah, I think that's quite unanimous. The answer is C. Well done. Yes. Now you see when you WhatsApp a lot of businesses, you end up talking to a chatbot. So yes, it is very prevalent now in everyday life. Great job. Okay, I hope you're ready for question 3. Yes. Okay, so question 3 is, how can AI help in language learning? What do you think? Great. Yes. Yeah. So if you chose B, which I think almost everyone has, yes, it can help with the other things as well, but it has the most impact by personalizing learning experiences. Great. I'll show you question 4. You're acing this exam. Question 4 is, which AI tool is known for helping with grammar and writing style? Yeah, excellent. Grammarly. Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to move on to question 5. What feature does Duolingo use to enhance language learning? Okay, so we've got some C's and D's, so the correct answer would be C. Very good. Adaptive learning algorithms. Okay, question 6 we've got now. Which of these AI tools can help students improve their reading comprehension? Great. Yes. Yep, brilliant. We've got read theory. Yes, B, read theory. Well done. Okay, great. I'll show you question 7. We've got only 10 questions, so 3 more to go. What is a key benefit of using AI in the classroom? Great. I'm glad no one chose A, because then we'll all be out of jobs. So yes, the correct answer is B. I mean, of course, it does do a little bit of the other things like C and D, but the key benefit is in B. It provides personalized feedback and support. Yeah, great. Okay, I'll just clear that. Okay, got question 8 coming up. Which AI tool uses game-based learning to engage students? Yes, yep. I'm sure some of you have already probably used Kahoot. It's very popular. And we'll show you a video on Kahoot actually today, in case you haven't had the chance to use it yet. Great. So Kahoot it is. Well done. Okay, I'm going to show you question 9. What should teachers consider when integrating AI tools in the classroom? Yeah, we've got mixed answers here, actually, because it is a tricky question. And the correct answer is D, all of the above. So all of you were right. So you do have to think about all of that, especially based on, your learners, your teaching context. So all of that matters. All right, so final question. Which AI tool can help students practice conversational English by chatting? And I'm sure you've all used this one. It's the most popular AI tool out there. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So yes, A is the correct answer. Well done. Fantastic. So great job. You are all AI whizzes now. So so I'd like to know, like, if you could just maybe put it in the chat, what do you use AI for? And have you used it in your lessons or training programs? Can just put some ideas in the chat. Great. Lesson planning, teaching, lesson planning. Great. Teaching. Yeah, preparing activities. Correcting learner language errors. Yes, that's good. Lesson planning, assessment, picture description. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, preparing papers. Yeah. Okay, that's fantastic. So in the research I was talking to you about that was published, we asked a group of teachers all over the world the same question. And this is what they said, and it's very close to what you just said. So 57% of teachers said they use AI to create materials. And 53% said they use AI to help learners practice using English. 43% said they use AI to create lesson plans. 33% said they use it to correct learners' English, which is what you said as well. 23% said they use it to grade or assess learners. 19% of teachers said they use it for admin tasks, and 18% said they don't use AI yet. So yeah, as you can see, we're very close to what the norm is. This is more or less what teachers out there are using AI for. And it's a way to help us spend more time on our learners and spend less time on tasks that can easily be clearly, now that we see, can be automated. So you can spend more of your thinking time on this. So here are some, I've given you 2 sentence parts of a sentence, which talks about how is AI transforming education in general. So the column on the left, it doesn't match like this. You have to find which letter completes the sentence. So for example, number 1, AI is transforming education by, what do you think the correct answer is? Is it A, B, C, D, or E? And number 2, one benefit of AI in language learning is, Is it A, B, C, D, or E? If you can put the answers in the chat once you've had a look at this. Okay, so 1E, what do you think? What do the others think? 1E? Okay, a different answer. 1C maybe? Okay, got A as well coming in there. Okay, I will show you the answers in a bit. Can you think about what about number 2? One benefit of AI in language learning is it A, B, C, D, or E? Okay, D, E. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Lots of you are saying D. Okay, we'll come back to that. All right, let's try number 3. Personalization in AI tools means what? Number 3. Is it A, B, C, D, or E? A, okay. What do you think? A. Oh, we've got Fatima's put all the answers. Great. Okay. All right, so it seems unanimous on A. We'll see. Number 4. What do you think the answer is to number 4? Efficiency in AI tools helps. Okay, we're back to D maybe. Okay, number 4. Okay, C. D. Oh, okay, 3. Okay, and the last one, 5. Accessibility through AI tools allows for what? Okay, we've got EBACD maybe, yeah. Okay. All right, so I'll show you the answers on the next slide. Let me know. I'll give you some time to read it through. Okay. So if you put C for number 1, you were right. And 2 was A. 3 was B. 4 was E, and 5 was D. So it's kind of what we were talking about earlier. AI is transforming education by automating administrative tasks, which gives teachers more time to focus on students. And that's probably the best way to use AI. Number 2, one benefit of AI in language learning is it provides a personalized learning experience, which is tailored to individual student needs. And personalization in AI tools means you can use data to adapt lessons to the learners and their progress and challenges. And efficiency in AI tools helps us enhance engagement. So we'll look at 2 of those tools and we can look at, okay, how it will enhance engagement and motivation in the classroom. And accessibility through AI tools allows learners, making learning resources available to students with diverse needs and abilities. So this is a poll. So I have 2 questions here. What do you think? So question number 1 is, what do you think, what is the biggest barrier to integrating AI tools in your language classroom? So is it A, B, C, D, or E? And question number 2 is, what benefit do you think AI can offer most in language learning? Do you think it's A, B, C, D, or E? You could put it in the chat, or if you feel like it, you can underline it on the screen. That's fine. Whatever works. Okay, we got D, yeah. And B. Yes, we'll talk a little bit about some of these barriers in a bit. Yeah. Okay. All right, so B seems to be a very strong barrier. We've got B and D. Some have said C, yeah, which is a very important point as well. Great. Okay. All right. What about 2? Oh, great. We have someone who said E, which is I have no barriers and I'm ready to use AI tools. That's great. Right. What about number 2? What benefit do you think AI can offer the most in language learning? Do you think it's A, B, C, D, or E? Okay. D and C. A as well. D. Okay. Yeah. So we're saying it's personalized learning experience, it's improved efficiency, increased engagement, better sense. Someone said, yeah, thanks, Rohan. So everything except E, which is great. Yep. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Okay, fantastic. All right. So we'll look at one AI tool. And I think some of you may have already used this in your classroom. Has anyone used Kahoot in their classrooms? You can just put a yes in the chat if you used it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right. So Kahoot is it's a game where you can put questions and you usually give the learners 4 options and you can pre-select which one is the correct answer. And there's a code. So learners can join your quiz by going to this website called Kahoot and entering this code that you give them. And then they need to have a device. So they need to either have a mobile or a laptop or a tablet, and they can click the correct answer and you will get instant feedback. So I've used this in contexts where, okay, sometimes you only have 4 devices for your entire class. You can use it like that because then each group can play. You don't need to have it as individual devices per student. So there are times when you don't have as many devices that you need for each student. So you could do it as pair work or group work as well. So I'll just show you the video, and which shows you, it's a short video, it's about 1.5 minutes on how to create a Kahoot, just to give you an idea of what the interface looks like. It's quite easy once you get the hang of it. And there is a free version. And as always, there's a paid version, but I've only always used the free version. So the free version gives you enough, that you need to run your classes. So I'll just play the video now. I hope you can hear it. Okay. What would thank you for confirming that the sound is okay now. What would you use Kahoot for? What kind of things could you add as a game in Kahoot? What do you think?
It can support the students to find answer within a proper time, and also
Yes.
it increases their interest to play
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Yes. Yes, and yes, very good. You can use it to teach grammar, present simple, past simple, present continuous, and like you very rightly said, it makes them do it within a particular time limit as well, which makes it more challenging and I guess fun. Right. I have another tool to show you. It's called Write Reader. Again, all of these, like I said, has a free version and a paid version. Write Reader, as the name suggests, is a way to get students to write and also to read each other's writing, but in a very engaging way, because they actually create a book with support, a digital book. And that can be shared among the class. It works particularly well with primary aged students. So I'll just show you a video which shows you how you can get started with Write Reader.
It's quick and easy to get started with Write Reader. I'm going to show you how. Go to writereader.com, then choose Login. You could also go right to app.writereader.com. If you're a teacher just getting started, you'll go ahead and click on the teacher portal. To sign up for a new account, click this tab. You can sign up for an account using your email or sign up with a Google account. Note, if you use Google Classroom and you'd like to roster your students in Write Reader through Google Classroom, you're going to want to choose Google Classroom as your sign-up method. Once you've created your account, Write Reader will automatically create your first class for you called New Class. You'll notice in your dashboard you have a few different tabs that you can explore, including Settings, the Template Library, your Bookshelf, and Users. The bookshelf is automatically populated with some helpful books that include writing prompts and instructions and inspiration for using Write Reader. To add students to your class, click the Users tab. You'll then enter your students one at a time by clicking on the plus students button. We recommend using the student's first name and maybe some random numbers. You want to be sure that the username is unique to avoid students logging into each other's accounts. So for instance, I might put a student's first name and then a few numbers at the end. You can also enter the student's first and last name, but the only required field is the username. You'll do this with each of your students and then provide them with their username and the class code, which is auto-generated and visible on the right side of your screen. When students are ready to log in, they'll go to the login screen, enter their username and the class code, and begin writing. As students begin to write, your class bookshelf will auto-populate with your students' books. You can view the books here. You can also view them in the User tab underneath that student's name. We hope that this is helpful in getting you started with Write Reader and that you'll have lots of fun writing and creating with your students.
Hey, what did you think and what could you maybe use it for? Any thoughts? Or... Okay, so one thing which I found helps is a lot of students don't like to write especially nowadays. And using a tool like this helps them get more interested in writing. And it also gets them interested in reading someone else's writing as well. So that's kind of a way to use this tool. Another way to use this tool is also to have set up peer feedback, because they can read each other's books and you can give them some criteria to give each other some feedback as well. So that's one of the ways you could use it. Sorry, so I'm going to look at
the same time, I think it needs the teacher's attention and then the help in handling the tool.
Yes, I think so. You're absolutely right. That's a very good point, because to set it up, they need some training. And actually, that's one of the things we'll look at now is, just because there are a lot of AI tools, as teachers, we should kind of look at, okay, this term, I'm going to focus on this. And your learners will need some time to get settled, and then they will become experts at using the tool. But you're absolutely right. At the beginning, they will need a lot more support to start on it. But once they get used to it, they'll be teaching the other students and us as well. Yes. And like Husna's put on the chat, yeah, many of them lack interest in writing, so it helps them get interested with the interactive interface. Okay, so I think we looked at this at the beginning as well in your poll answers that you gave, and it's very important. There are ethical considerations when it comes to using AI. And one of the most important things is, when we're using it with students, is we need to inform students and their guardians that what data we are collecting, how it will be used, how long it will be stored, and consent before using AI tools in the classroom. Because, some of them, maybe they are videoed, some of them maybe there's audio recordings, and they put their work up on the internet. So we would need to think about data privacy and security there. And I think we were talking about this a lot in the last session, which is the bias in AI algorithms. As you know, it is very non-Sri Lankan centric, let's put it that way. So there's a lot of, obviously, a lot of influence from a lot of the Western world. But so we as teachers need to keep that in mind. So even when we're using AI tools, unintentionally, there are biases that come up, and that's kind of where the teacher intervention is needed quite a lot. And the third thing is what you highlighted as well in the barriers is equitable access to AI tools. So not all schools or students have the same access to technology. And that's one of the things that we all have to work towards, because AI is becoming a part of the workforce and the work life. So we have to in some way figure out a way to equip our students to at least be comfortable with the use. They don't need to be experts, but they need to be comfortable with the use of AI. And that's something we need to be mindful of, as well as cultural sensitivity as well. So these are all things that we need to have a wider discussion on. And I don't think there's, one answer for this, but I think the best thing is us as teachers having a community of practice to discuss, share. This is just the beginning or the middle of the, it's definitely not the end. So it's something that we need to continue to have conversations on. Right, okay, there is a black square. I think that's the chat box. It should be okay now. Thank you. I hope this is can be seen clearly now. Okay. Right, I'll move on to implementation strategies. So that's kind of what we were talking about earlier, because as you rightly pointed out, a lot, like to introduce an AI tool, you need to have some teacher intervention at the beginning. So the best thing to do is to like kind of look at your term plan or your year's plan as a teacher or even as a trainer, what are the needs and resources of your course? What is your educational goal? What do you have already? What is your classroom like? Is it online? Is it face-to-face? What's the technology like that is available? And then you have to spend some time thinking about what's the right AI tool that I can use to enhance the language learning experience. So for example, like I put on the slide, if personalized feedback is a priority, then you can research tools like Mote or Grammarly. Kahoot or Quizlet are better for engaging students in very active learning through quizzes. So it's very energetic. And then you need to constantly look at teacher and student needs because you need to try out a tool and then get some feedback and see what is working and what you need to change. And one big area, which was even identified in the research that was conducted, is we need to do a lot more training for teachers and students. We need to include this in professional development. We need to support students onboarding, which is onboarding them into the AI tool because they'll need help on how to use it, as well as factoring ongoing support. And then even after we incorporate AI tool, we should always have continuous evaluation and adaptation. We need to look at, okay, is it effective? Or am I just adding the AI tool because it's cool? And then we need to adapt the tool to the context. We need to have constant feedback loops, which means we need to be talking to teachers and students and parents, people who are seeing the impact of whatever AI tool we have incorporated. And because this area is changing so quickly, we have to also stay updated with the new things that are coming up. So those are some of the important things to consider and think about when we are going to use AI in our classrooms or in our training context. So the end is 3 things. So one of the main thing is we know that AI tools are transforming language learning if used correctly. So it offers a range of tools that can personalize learning, improve engagement, and provide immediate feedback, which really makes it easier for students to progress at their own pace. But we also need to be very mindful of the ethical use of AI. So we need to be mindful of data privacy. We need to call out algorithmic bias and make sure that we, as much as possible within our capacity, can ensure that there is equitable access to AI in an inclusive classroom. And then the third point is experiment and adapt, because I think a biggest thing, talking to a lot of the teachers that I've talked to, is they're afraid to use AI. And I think the important thing is don't be afraid. Just experiment. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And we learn from the experience either way. And also, you can use the same AI tool, but depending on your class and the student dynamic, the results can be different. So it's always good to kind of try things out and see how it works. So that's it from me. And I have some useful links on my slide, which I will put in the chat now. So you have access to it, which also includes a link to the first link is a link to the report that I was talking to you about, which is on our website. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for listening to me. If there are any questions.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes, you can call.
How can I get this recording? Because it's really useful for me and my colleagues who are doing MEd for assignments related to this topic. Therefore, if you could give us the this recording, really important for us. Thank you, madam.
Sure, of course. I believe it is, the session has been recorded, so I will check with NIE, and I'm sure they'll be able to share the recording. And I've also added the useful links now in the chat.
Excuse me, Miss Anju. I'm Verosha from NIE.
Hi.
Sessions will be shared via YouTube, so you can watch. You can type as 25th Sixth National RESC Conference Day 1, Day 2. Like we have included every recordings, so you can watch via YouTube. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, Verosha.
Yeah, ma'am, I have another problem here. I mean,
Yes.
just a question. Now, we know that we are to use AI in our higher studies or whatever it is. And then, as instructors also, we are looking into the people who are using AI. So, how practical it is, and then I have a problem. Now, is it okay to use AI always and then do the assessments or whatever it is? And when we are doing also, we get caught with this plagiarism thing. So how to interact with this question? I mean, in the
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, actually. It's a very relevant question. So I think one of the things is as an institution, you need to create your own AI policy. So a lot of institutions have now started creating an AI policy, which is okay, we don't allow the use of AI in like, for example, report writing. Or some institutions have said, okay, yes, you can use it to do research, you can use it to find evidence, but you need to make sure that the writing it's of your own writing, it's of your own thinking. So I think the first step is to figure out as an institution or as a unit, what is our policy? Are we going to allow it or are we going to completely ban it? Now, I don't think it's in reality we can ban it anymore because it's there. Students are using it. But I think what we need to support students with is how can you use it properly? And also when you are because you are teaching your group of students and you know all the students in your class. Let's say you have 40, you know all 40. So if someone gives you an amazing report, and when you have a classroom activity, they can't really write more than 3 sentences, you know, okay, there's something not right here. So I think that's a conversation with the student to say that, listen, you're not going to always be able to do this. And what we're doing is we're educating you. So the idea is that you learn from this, and we want the student to think about, okay, first tap into your creativity and your ideas, and then go to AI to refine it. But don't go to AI without having any idea at all, because then you learn nothing. Like as we know that they just regurgitate whatever's put out from AI. So I think that's why assessment, I think right now it's tricky to have assessment primarily which focuses just on one skill, because we need to bring in all the skills to get a holistic view of, okay, what is this student actually able to do? And I think, again, we talked about this in the last session. We need to kind of pull out the students' creativity. And we need to kind of, I won't say force, but strongly encourage them to first reach into their own internal creativity and then go to AI to support them, not the other way around. So I think that would be what I would suggest.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes, go ahead.
Madam, would you mind speaking a few more words on the concept of algorithm bias with some examples, if possible?
So, so for example, when they first started researching ChatGPT, a lot of things they put into this thing called Reddit, right, which is a forum kind of to sense check it. So the people who use Reddit, well, I don't think many Sri Lankans use Reddit. So essentially, a lot of the things they've got are very skewed to more of the Western part of the world, because there's just a lot more information out there on the internet and more widely available. So, for example, I don't know, maybe there's a jalapa recipe, I don't know, but I'm not entirely sure ChatGPT would have an accurate, jalapa recipe, for example. So that's one of the things we can also educate our learners on. And also, the other thing is, just because something comes out of ChatGPT, for example, we shouldn't take it as 100% accurate, because there are many, many times it's not, or it's given a quote or a statistic which is not sourced. So that's another important skill we need to teach our learners. Get something, cross-check it against a valid source, a credible source. And also, what is a valid source? What are good reference materials? So I think that needs to become a part of how we support learners to use AI, but to use it in a way that it's an intelligent way of using it. And also to think about, okay, does this work in the Sri Lankan context? And again, we were talking about names in the earlier session. Yeah, so if I'm doing a lesson for my students, I don't need to use John and Mary. I can use Saman and Amali, for example. So it's a ways of where we can ensure that our lessons are customized to our learners and in a way that they can relate more to the content we're teaching. So I think it's kind of making them question. The simple thing is, okay, question it, and also add in Sri Lanka, like when they're doing creative writing, they should, we should talk about, Yala or Wilpattu or, Jaffna, Matra are beaches. So I think we should encourage them to do a lot more thinking about Sri Lanka. Why is Sri Lanka special? Just learning a lot more about it and doing more research into that will help them kind of contribute more to what's out there on the internet, which will then help these large language models kind of reduce the element of bias. I mean, that is the hope.
Thank you very much, madam.
Okay. I think that's it from me. Thank you very much. This was fantastic, and thank you very much for being a lovely group.
Thank you very much, Ms. Anju Moses, and your session on artificial intelligence and English language teaching was indeed an eye-opening and very enlightening. Also, thank you to all the participants for your enthusiasm and your dedication in asking the questions as well. Thank you once again, Ms. Anju Moses.